Think you're doing push-ups correctly? Most people aren't. And if your goal is a clean, powerful one-arm push-up, there's a good chance the way you're training right now is actually making it harder. Maybe you've been grinding out endless reps, feeling strong, feeling pumped, but when you try to lift that one hand off the floor, your body instantly tilts, your shoulder caves in, and your hips flop around like they're trying to escape. Sound familiar? Here's the truth most people never hear. The one-arm push-up isn't about brute strength, it's about control. And before we unlock the real technique, I want you to do something. Picture a skyscraper. Now imagine trying to build the top floors before the foundation is set. That's what most people are doing when they chase the one-arm push-up. They skip the structure, go straight for the cool move, and their body lets them know it wasn't ready. Let me ask you something. When you do a regular push-up, do your hands drift way outside your shoulders? Do you feel your elbows flare out like a chicken wing whenever the rep gets tough? These tiny habits become major roadblocks later. And here's the twist. Not only are they holding you back, they're teaching your body the exact opposite of what a one-arm push-up needs. Wild, right? Now, I'm not going to reveal the full technique just yet, but I will tell you this, the biggest mistake people make is thinking the one-arm push-up is an upper body exercise. It's not. The secret weapon is actually your core and your legs. If those aren't doing their job, your arm never even gets the chance to shine. In a minute, I'm going to show you how to fix those issues step by step, and once you understand the foundation, the rest becomes shockingly achievable. But first, we need to clean up the basics. Because once you feel the difference, you'll know you've been training the hard way this whole time. Think you're nailing your push-ups? Most people think they are, until they try to lift one hand off the ground and their entire body collapses like a folding chair. And here's the part nobody tells you. Every sloppy rep you've been doing might actually be training your body to fail the one-arm push-up. I know, that sounds harsh. But stay with me, because once you understand what's really going on, the path to your first clean, powerful one-arm push-up becomes way clearer. Let's start with something simple. Next time you do a regular push-up, pay attention. Do your hands drift wider the moment the rep gets tough? Do your elbows quietly flare out like they're trying to escape? Does your body snake its way back up instead of moving as one solid plank? These tiny movements don't seem like a big deal, but they are the exact habits that make a one-arm push-up feel impossible. It's like building a skyscraper on soft sand. No matter how strong the top floors are, the whole structure wobbles, and sooner or later, it crumbles. Your form is the foundation. Most people skip this foundation entirely because regular push-ups feel easy. But that ease is actually your body cheating, compensating, finding shortcuts that work fine with two hands but completely fall apart when you take one away. Let me ask you a question. When you attempt a one-arm push-up, where do you feel the struggle first? Most people say the shoulder or the chest. But the real reason you're shaking like a leaf isn't weakness there, it's instability everywhere else. Think about this. In a one-arm push-up, your body is basically a long lever. And if that lever bends, twists, or rotates even a little, you lose pressure on that working arm immediately. That's why your hips fly open. That's why your torso rotates. That's why it feels impossible to stay balanced. The arm isn't the problem. The structure is. Here's the part people usually don't realize. The one-arm push-up is less of an upper body feat and more of a full-body tension exercise. Imagine your body as a steel beam. The tighter the beam, the easier it is for a single support point to hold it up. But if the beam is loose or bending, it becomes incredibly hard to control. Your core and your legs, the parts many people barely think about during push-ups, are actually your secret weapons. But hold that thought, because we're not going to jump straight into engage your core and squeeze your glutes. That advice is useless until you understand what proper tension feels like. Instead, I want you to think of this like a controlled shift in gravity. With two hands on the ground, your weight is spread evenly. But as you move toward a one-arm push-up, you're slowly teaching your body to accept more and more weight on one side without losing alignment. Here's where things get interesting. Most people try to brute force this shift. They yank their hand off the ground, twist their shoulders, and hope momentum does the work. But momentum is a traitor. It'll help you for half a second then abandon you when you actually need strength. A true one-arm push-up is slow, intentional, balanced. No sudden jerks, no twists, no shortcuts. Let's dig deeper into one of the biggest mistakes, shoulder collapse. If your shoulder sinks in toward your chest during a push-up, you're losing the tension you need to stay stable on one arm. Think of your shoulder like the hinge of a door. If the hinge is loose, the whole door rattles. But when that hinge is solid, you can push or pull on it with one hand effortlessly. Another mistake, letting your hips drift to one side. It might feel like you're keeping your body straight, but if someone watched from behind, your hips would be doing a full side bend to compensate for the lack of strength. This is subtle but crucial, because the one-arm push-up requires your hips to stay squared. The moment they drift, the line of force through your body breaks, and your arm instantly feels twice as heavy. Now here's something most people never consider: hand placement. You might think your one working hand should be directly under your chest, but that position actually puts your shoulder at a disadvantage. The correct placement is slightly wider and slightly lower, but I'm not going to unpack that fully yet, because before hand placement matters, you need to build the awareness to keep your ribs tucked, your spine neutral, and your hips stable. Think of this like training a camera to stop shaking. You don't fix a shaky camera by strengthening the lens. You stabilize the whole frame. Your body is that frame. And once you start controlling it better with two hands, your progression to one hand becomes way smoother. Here's your first light bulb moment. The one-arm push-up starts long before you take a hand off the ground. It starts with learning to shift weight without twisting. It starts with gripping the floor like you're trying to leave fingerprints in it. It starts with pressing your feet into the ground so hard your legs become pillars. And here's a second light bulb moment. If you can't hold a solid plank on one hand, even for a second, your body isn't ready for the full push-up. But don't worry, we're going to build that strength. Step by step, layer by layer. For now, I want you to notice the little habits you do when no one's watching. Are you letting your shoulders shrug up toward your ears? Are you sinking into your lower back? Are you letting your chest collapse at the bottom instead of stopping with control? Every one of these habits becomes amplified when you take one hand away. And trust me, once you correct these basics, something amazing happens. Suddenly your body feels lighter, more stable, more connected. And that's when the one-arm push-up stops feeling like an impossible trick and starts feeling like a skill. Think you're mastering push-ups? Maybe. Or maybe every rep you're doing is secretly training your body to fail the one-arm push-up. Sounds dramatic, but watch what happens the moment most people lift a hand. The body twists, the shoulder caves, the hips swing out like a door on a broken hinge. That wobble isn't weakness in your arm. It's instability everywhere else. And until you fix that, the one-arm push-up will always feel impossible. Let's expose the real problem. Next time you drop for regular push-ups, slow down and pay attention. Do your hands slowly creep wider? Do your elbows flare out like they're trying to run away? Does your chest sag at the bottom, or your hips rise up first on the way back up? These tiny habits don't just make your form sloppy. They teach your body the exact opposite mechanics you need for a one-arm push-up. Picture building a skyscraper on sand. Even if the steel beams are strong, the structure wobbles because the foundation is weak. That's what's happening. With your push-ups, the one-arm version demands tension, total body tension, not just a strong chest or shoulder. But when you let little leaks slip into your regular reps, you're building your skyscraper on shifting ground. Now think about this. When you shift to one arm, your body instantly becomes a long lever balancing over one point. If your core loosens even a little, that lever twists. If your legs aren't braced, your hips slide. If your shoulder isn't packed tight, the whole upper body collapses inward. The arm never even gets a chance to show what it can actually do. Here's something most people never consider. The one-arm push-up is basically a moving plank. If you can't hold a stable one-handed plank, even for a moment, your body isn't ready. But that's good news, because it means the path forward isn't brute force or endless reps. It's learning how to control your body. Let me give you a small light bulb moment. Shifting your weight is more important than lifting your hand. You should be able to move 60%, then 70%, then 80% of your weight onto one arm without your shoulders or hips rotating. It's like trying to balance a camera on a single tripod leg. If the frame isn't stable, the whole shot shakes. Another mistake? People think the working hand goes directly under the chest. Not true. That position actually forces your shoulder to internally rotate and lose power. The correct position is slightly wider and slightly lower, but we'll dial that in later. For now, the goal is awareness. Notice if your ribs pop out. Notice if your hips tilt. Notice if your shoulder sinks. These tiny corrections become massive advantages once you go one-handed. Here's your second light bulb moment. You don't need to be superhuman to do a one-arm push-up. You just need structure. Once your body learns to stay aligned, tight legs, tight core, tight shoulder, the push becomes shockingly efficient, like flipping a switch. And soon, when you finally lift that hand, you'll feel something different. Not wobbling, not twisting, just control. Give me the prompt for the next section whenever you're ready.